Wes, Wayne said after the game on Saturday that when that kick was being lined up, you'd given up.
I didn't think it was going to be the first question, mate, but, well, it was either Whitney or me that was going to do media, and I'm probably been here a bit longer than her, so I thought I'm going to have to take the hit here and do the tough media. So I started looking at my iPad and started writing, well, where did it all go wrong? And Smithy said, she's missed that. I said, what? She'd barely kicked it. He saw it off the foot. And I said, what? And I managed to just see the end of it at the end, but yeah, that's correct. I did start planning ahead.
And how good is it to be then sitting here this week, knowing you've still got a final play?
Oh, it's phenomenal, mate. Like, it's just brilliant. The girls are excited, training went well. There seems to be a country behind us. We live in a bubble, but you're getting little glimpses, and I think Smithy had a ridiculous amount of text messages after the game, so no, it's just fantastic.
Just last one from me. I know you've been using these dojo sessions this year.
Yeah.
Can you remember when Wayne first introduced that concept, and you know how big those have been in terms of getting this team ready for this stage of this tournament? Yeah,
look, it's probably one of his first trainings that he started showing us that this is a different way of doing things. It's all mostly defence and tackle based, so not a hell of a lot different to what we do on the grass typically, but the advantage of the dojo being players can go a bit harder, they're a bit safer. I think it's been great for our confidence, it's been great for our physicality. As the year's gone on, I think you've seen an improvement there, so no, it's been good.
Wes, how is it from your perspective as a coach to be part of this big occasion? Obviously the players are the ones on the field, but how do you prepare personally?
Well, it's not my first rodeo. I was at the last World Cup, so it's the same really. I think what's important for us is that if we start doing things too differently or look too stressed, then they're going to pick up on that. So it's important for us to show that we've got confidence, we can have a crack at this, stay calm and do things very similar to how we've done them in the last few weeks and keep that routine going.
And how has training been? Obviously, is everyone's bodies recovered and a few, ice baths and whatnot?
Yeah, there's been a few ice baths. I mean, the French were fantastic, weren't they? And it was a brutal game. So definitely some sore players out there. So we took things a bit slower yesterday. And maybe a bit slower today even for most of training, but then finished fast and was really, really good.
Wes, you say you need to show confidence. Do you have confidence?
Oh, 100%. Look, it's going to be a challenge, we know that, right? But we've faced a few challenges already in the last 12 months. We've got a special group of people here, and when you've got a special group of people, anything's possible. So, we've got a chance.
Final week, it's special, right? How does the pressure change this week compared to any previous?
Look, I've said this all along that our pressure is all internal. Like, people have asked the same question in a different way when we had a big win. How do you keep the pressure on? You've just had this massive win. It's the same thing, just on the other side. We want to perform. We want to show a game that's beautiful, that people want to watch. We want to attract the attention of young boys and girls to play the game in the future. So all our pressure is internal and how we want to deliver the game. And if you do it well enough, the score will take care of itself. So that's where we're at.
Well, you've got a lot of players in your group who have played on big occasions before, World Cup finals, Olympic finals. How do you look to utilise those players in a week as big as a home World Cup final and all their experience of these big occasions?
Yeah, look, it's players and staff really, isn't it? So we've got a couple of coaches that have won a couple of World Cups as well. So I think the group's really well prepared for it. Some of our pressure will come from family who want more tickets than usual, or people who aren't quite family but are suddenly family who want more tickets. So, we're aware of all those things. We've talked about it. We've given the players an opportunity to talk about it. They've got their own little groups and meeting sessions that they discuss things at as well. So it's not really something that concerns me, to be honest. I think we'll go well in terms of our own preparation.
How much have you seen this group grow since those two tests against England on the Northern Tour last year? What happened is well documented, but in the months since then, can you talk to the growth of this group?
Yeah, look, it's been in a wide range of areas, but probably the one that stands out for me is our ability to handle pressure on the grass. I think we've shown that first test against Aussie taught us that. We did it again on the weekend. We've been chucking quite a bit of pressure on them at training, so even today, particularly the defence coach chucks a little bit of pressure on and makes it real competitive and to front, and their ability to block out noise and just do what they have to do is getting better and better all the time. So that's probably the one that stands out for me.
England came to this tournament as favourites to take it out. They've been professional for a number of years over in England now. What sort of impact or influence do you expect that to have come Saturday night? Do they come in better prepared as a result of that professionalism? If you could just talk to that for a bit.
I'm not sure I know the answer to that, to be honest. I think what the challenge for us is they've won 30 tests in a row. So they're battle hardened. They play a lot more games than us. If you were to tally up their amount of matches since the last World Cup versus ours, it'd be probably double, I'd say, if not more. So, and they've got a group that's played together for a long time, whereas, as you know, we've given different players different opportunities. So I think that's going to be their real strength. They've got a system that works for them, a game plan that's really strong. They're not going to probably change that, I don't think, because it's so effective and it's so hard to beat. And I still think they're the team to beat on the weekend, if I was honest.
Wes, you talk about not changing anything in a week like this. The atmosphere among this team has been quite, very fun and sort of not laid back, but there's been a lot of laughs and music and that kind of stuff. I'm assuming you don't expect the girls to change that approach this week?
No, absolutely not. They've got to do what keeps them comfortable and gets them to perform, and I think we've shown that they can get up, and they get up when they're happy.
And last weekend's semi-final, it was such a frantic pace that you guys put on France. It looked like it took a toll on them. I guess you're a defence coach. How hard is it as a defence to deal with that? And I guess, do you expect England to be able to deal with it in the same way that France were? Or
yeah, they're slightly different teams, aren't they? England's very good at holding the ball for long periods of time. They're really good at protecting their own ball on the ground. I won't say too much more about that. And look, I think at one stage on the weekend we defended, 17 or 18 phases in a row. So yeah, it does take a toll. But what it also gives you is confidence. It teaches you that you've got the ability to keep withstanding, and stand up time after time for each other. So it goes both ways. Their bodies are a bit battered, and we took it easy yesterday, like I said. But by the time their bodies come right, their minds will be so much better for it.
Wes, what have you made of the progression of your forwards in this tournament, and particularly on the weekend?
Well, I think it's been crucial, and I think it's going to be crucial on the weekend. But it's been fantastic as well. We've had players, a lot of them on the tour at the end of last year, really step up. I think Whitney Henson in particular and Mike Cron have done a fantastic job with the forward pack. I think they're really clear in their roles, and I think we're getting some consistency with selection now, which is helping them as well.
And how does this final with England compare to the build-up to it, from the one you played 5 years ago in Belfast?
The build-up, you mean?
Yeah, the build-up.
How controversial do I want to be, Loz? Not at all. Okay, it's look. I think the big difference for me is that the last World Cup, we were in hostel accommodation of a university, so we got to see the other teams a lot more. There's a lot more interaction between teams, and this World Cup has been a lot more of a sterile environment. So I feel like we're more in a bubble than we were. COVID's affected that as well. So I think that's probably the slight change. But in terms of the players and the preparation, the feeling in the group, it's very, very similar.
Liana McKinley too, is she okay with her thumb injury that she suffered?
No, she's not going to be okay.
She's not playing this weekend?
She won't be playing.
How's she taken that? Is she all good?
She's gutted, like you would be. She's been a big part of our team so far, and she's a special human, so I'm sure she'll add stuff off the field. She's great with the other, even though she's only a young player herself, she's really good at teaching the other players. She does a lot of work on the laptop. She's here late at night, so all of that stuff will continue. And of course, we've got some pretty handy replacements as well that I can't mention yet, but they'll be excited to get out there. They're refreshed because she's played last week, so it should be exciting.
A big moment in this game that is obviously going to be England's first kick to the corner and a possible driving ball.
Yeah.
I think you guys are ready for that?
Oh, we have to be, mate. We have to be.
Could I just ask, picking up on the injuries, is there any other concerns across the rest of your squad at the moment?
No, we're good otherwise.
And obviously you could replace Mick Ellie if you wanted to.
Although Wayne Smith did say to me, tell the media that we're playing with 14. Sorry.
But is there any chance you might bring someone else into camp?
No, we won't be bringing anyone else this stage.
And you said you're going a bit slower yesterday in training. Do you think you might ease off this week, or are you going to treat it as a normal week?
No, everything else is normal, but we just made sure they stayed off feet a little bit more learning off feet, so video, that sort of stuff, rather than running around. It was a tough game. It was a brutal test match. Anyone that watched it, and I think it's attracted fans because of the way it was played. So it's been tough. So just got to make sure that their bodies are ready to go in this weekend.
Whose job is it to keep an eye on the weather forecast?
I don't know, but Ted asked me before if I've checked the weather yet, and I haven't, so I hope someone does.
And just lastly, we're going to speak to Sarah Harini shortly after you. Can you just talk about what she has achieved with this endless back and forth that she does between 7s and 15s and just how she has to adapt her game?
Sarah Harini is a special human, good Manawatu girl. So I've known Gossie since she was 16 years old. I've seen it from her many times. I picked her in the Poa earlier this year, where she had to do the same thing. So she went straight from 7s into playing open side for the Hurricanes Poa. Only got 2 games to do it in, was okay in game 1. It was brilliant in game 2. So massive confidence that she always gets that done. She's got an ability to learn off feet. She's a true professional where you can tell her something, hey, you need to do that, and she'll just go, yep, and it gets done the next time. So I don't think anyone can do it, but she's certainly special and seems to be able to get her focus to whatever the moment that she has to be in.
And just on that, is she part of the leadership group for the squad, or is that just one thing too much for her?
Well, our leadership group's changed quite a little bit. We've still got a group as such, but it's so dispersed now in different areas and all that we're trying to grow everyone, so she's part of that.
Wes, did you coach Amy Cockayne about 10 years ago or so?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn it!
What was she like then? And I understand she was looking at becoming a Blackfin. She's in a few training camps, I think.
Yeah. Oh, look, I won't say too much about that, but it was obviously special at the time, and she's another special human. I remember taking her to a coaching course where she was teaching the men at the course about the hooker and her toes pointing up versus pointing. All the men were going, "Who's this girl?" So. Special human as well. Unfortunately lost to us. She probably had a chance to keep her if we were a bit better at the time. But yeah, happened to coach her. Comes from a great family. No appearance as well, so lovely girl.
She got a hat-trick last year, but...
Yeah, I know.
I guess just finally from I'd ask,
So there's 3 Manawatu girls playing in this game, because Georgia Ponsonby is also from Manawatu. Thought I'd chuck that out there.
Yeah. I just got to ask, obviously England is another step up, as Wayne alluded to on Saturday, I think it was. Does it really matter if they're favourites or not for a game like this?
I don't know if it matters. I don't know what that means, to be honest. The game starts at 0-0. They're definitely the team to beat. They've won 30 in a row. I think the best the All Blacks have done is 18 in a row or something. That is phenomenal. So, potentially the best women's team of all time. Potentially the best rugby team of all time. So, but that is what it is. But the game starts at 0-0. We're up for the challenge. We're going to give it our best shot, and we'll see what happens.
It's just on defence. The final sort of 5 minutes of that game, probably before the penalty, there's some pretty crucial tackles being made. What did you think when you had the chance to watch that back, assuming you have looked back at it?
So what's the question about? I did watch it, yeah.
Just, when you watch that defensive effort, right at the France were really attacking well. To see that defensive effort in that stage of the game.
I thought the defensive effort at the start of the game was just as brilliant. I think they got a line out, they mauled, they carried. 18 phases later, they got held up over the line. So I thought it was brilliant, to be honest, at the start, and same at the end. We've gotten better and better at the dojo stuff. So number 1, our tackling, but secondly, our systems, and then thirdly, I think our back 3 is getting really good at making decisions. We were expecting France to kick quite a lot, weren't we? We said that last week, so I think we nullified that quite well.
Just on the dojo stuff, obviously Kennedy suffered her injury in one of those sessions.
Yeah.
Was there ever any thought of stopping that after that, or was it just, stuff happens?
The doctor said to me the other day, I love your dojo because it's actually battle hardened us. Kennedy's injury wasn't one of the activities in the dojo. It was a freak accident where people doing their activity spilled into another activity. So the dojo's actually a very safe area. We've lost no one else all year, to be honest.